Good evening, I'm Gary Downey, and I wanted to say just how excited I am, how honored I am, how humbled I am to be the recipient this year of the Shaler High School Distinguished Alumnus Award. I have a deep, abiding connection to Shaler High School, indeed the entire Shaler area school district, and have throughout my life. I'd like to say hello to the members, existing members, of the Shaler High School National Honor Society, to your sponsor, Ms. Mindy Teal, and other members of the committee, other members of the faculty who might be present, and most especially, I'd like to say hello to the new inductees. If I remember correctly, there are 29 of you, and I'd like to say hello to your parents, friends, family, other supporters who might be present. When I received notification of this award, I must say that one of the first reactions was to run to the box, run up into the attic, deep into the attic, and have a look in the box, the Shaler High School box, and start looking through it. Now, while it is the case that I was not able to find my National Honor Society certificate, I did find a couple of other things that I thought might be of interest to you. So come on, let's go take a look. So, let's go see what might be in the old high school box. Ah yes, here it is. And if we open it up, oh my goodness, what do we have here? A postcard from Madrid, sent by one Alice Smokovich. Miss Smokovich in 1968. Miss Smokovich was my Spanish teacher. She's from Etna. She traveled to Spain, to Madrid, and sent me this postcard. And let me say, the reason why I'm not speaking with you, I'm not present tonight, is because right now I'm on the plane to visit Madrid for the first time actually. Miss Smokovich had written, I hope that someday you will be able to see Madrid. Now, 44 years later, I'm finally getting the chance. And look here, also, my high school handbook, Shaler High School from 1968 and 69. What might this have to say? Well, some things it seems might be a little different. School courtesy. Your attendance in Shaler High School presupposes many things regarding your social development, but it might be wise for you to refresh yourself on the following points of behavior. Be careful at corners. Avoid crowding and pushing. Take your time and keep to the right. Linking arms and loitering anywhere for a friendly visit is a selfish and discourteous habit. Other persons also have rights. Keep moving. Loud talking, yelling, or whistling is not necessary and not permitted. Such actions always leave the wrong impression upon visitors who come into the building for business. Students in classes under the direction of substitute teachers should exert themselves to give strict attention to accuracy in reporting lesson assignments and in showing in every possible way the greatest courtesy to the temporary teacher. Failure to carry out these provisions may result in suspension from school. Finally, remember always to be on your best behavior. It will mark you as a lady or gentleman and reflect credit upon the high school. I'm sure all of you would follow these directions closely, as I'm sure we did. But some things remain the same, importantly. National Honor Society. The National Honor Society is interested in embodying the four basic ideals initialed in the corners of the keystone, the insignia of the society. These ideals are character, leadership, service, and scholarship. The Shaler chapter obtained its charter from the national organization in 1941. I am sometimes asked, how is it that you became a culture anthropologist after starting off as a mechanical engineer? How did that happen? Well, the process actually began in high school, in 11th grade no less, right about this time of year. One night, I had a dream entirely in Spanish. It was weird. I saw everything through the linguistic categories of Spanish. The world looked differently when I had different words to name everything. And I awoke thinking, my goodness, the world is filled with lots of different languages, lots of people thinking about things and looking at the world in different ways. Isn't this fascinating? Well, in a way I've been predisposed, I think, to start to think about other people's points of view because I have been raised to be interested in other people's points of view. Our mother was really very committed to education. We grew up with lots of games in the car. I could name all 50 states. I could name all 50 capitals of those states. But she also had a couple of important sayings that really stuck with us. One was, only people matter, which means pay attention to other people besides yourself. And also, it's nice to be nice. Once again, pay attention to people other than yourself. Listen to them. Now, in my family, I was good in math and science, and in my family, with our fathers working in the trades, our mothers working at home, and it was surprising to me in retrospect. On my mother's side, there were 14 cousins. All 5 boys started off into engineering. All 9 girls started off and continued on in teaching and nursing. And if any had flipped, people would not have been happy. In fact, I and my brother were both very interested in teaching and followed our sister into the profession. But I went off to become an engineer, not really giving much thought about the prospects of what an engineering life and what an engineering career might be like. And as a college student, I found myself taking courses on areas that involved environmental issues, even within mechanical engineering. And I found that the more I learned about the technical dimensions of issues involving the environment, new technologies involving the environment, especially then nuclear power and nuclear waste disposal, the more I became interested in the social dimensions and the cultural dimensions. How could 2 groups of people who were both really bright and with high degrees of integrity disagree with one another systematically and even violently about such things as nuclear power? So as I continued on as an engineering student, loved learning engineering, I found myself jealous of people elsewhere on campus studying different sorts of things, and in a way found the problem-solving skills that I was gaining in engineering to be insufficient because I was also interested in other people's points of view. So I continued studying Spanish. I also studied French, and over time I began taking courses in the social sciences and humanities. I stayed around for an extra year to get a degree in the social sciences, and then I took a flying leap into cultural anthropology. All this, I think, triggered by something that happened to me in 11th grade that added on to a lifetime of suggestion that only people matter, and that it's nice to be nice, and that listening to others, paying attention to people beyond myself, has meaning. So, this is where I spend a lot of my time. This is a classroom at Virginia Tech. It's a large classroom, 140 students. I teach a class called Engineering Cultures. Now, what this class does is it takes students around the world and help them to see what counts as an engineer and what engineers value as their knowledge, vary dramatically from place to place. So, for example, in France, engineering is the highest status occupation in the country, while in Great Britain, just across the English Channel, engineers are barely above manual labor. My main purpose in this course is to help students learn to work more effectively with people who think about things differently than they do. Those of you who have been selected to become part of the National Honor Society have demonstrated the scholarship, the character, the leadership, and the commitment to community service that is required and that sets you apart. What I want to suggest to you is that all of those characteristics that you've demonstrated necessarily involve high-quality listening, listening to others. Those with high character are aware of those around them and are sensitive to the needs, perspectives of others. Those who have achieved high levels of scholarly work do so because they systematically listen. The most important leadership skill is in fact listening. Listening to others so that you understand what it is they need, so that you can be in a position to help them by virtue of leadership. And finally, service. Service is about listening. Service is about listening to the needs of others, to understanding the desires and the wants of others, to make sure that the kinds of gifts that you offer them are gifts that indeed they want. Now, the spot that I'm standing in is really the most sacred spot we have here at Virginia Tech. It's a place where we honor those who fell in 2007. Those of you juniors and seniors, you were maybe 6th and 7th grade, you might not have remembered hearing about or learned about the Virginia Tech shootings, but the shootings here had a deep and profound impact on everyone associated with the Virginia Tech community, myself included. I come here, as do many others. In fact, as I'm standing here, other people are walking around. I'll show you in a moment. I come here to honor people who, in my terms, were committed to listening. One group of students who fell, 15 of them, were in a foreign language class. They had given their time, their lives, to stepping outside of their own world, to learning another language, and perhaps to dream in it, the way I had been able to dream in Spanish. Another group of students were graduate students in an engineering class. It was the most diverse class on campus, with students from all over the world who had stepped out of themselves, outside of their lives, who had made a deep and permanent commitment to learning. Right now the bells are playing at the top of our administrative building, Burris Hall. In front of Burris Hall, we have a memorial for the 33 fallen that began with stones placed by students the evening of the shootings. And so we have 33 stones in this space in front of Burris Hall. And on the evening of the shootings, the large field in front of it was filled with over 10,000 people. So this is where we come to champion learning, to champion listening. All of you who are being inducted tonight into the National Honor Society are gaining an enormous privilege. The privilege of recognition for the accomplishments you've already made in listening. But I must say to you, as I often said to my children, with privilege comes responsibility. And so I challenge you, as you move on, to carry with you the question, how do others understand their worlds? How do others understand and define problems that are important to you? And how can you learn from them? Congratulations. And now, before we go, I need to share with you one more piece of information. A few moments ago, an important message just came down across the university from our president with a request that it be projected upon all screens across the university. So let me show you this message, which may be meaningful to some of you present in the room. The message is, congratulations, Carly Joe, from the Virginia Downeys.
Congratulations, Carly.
Congratulations, Carly. That's so wonderful. I'm sure you worked really hard.
Hey, Siege. Congratulations from Seville, Spain. We're all so proud of you. Love you.
Congratulations, Carly Joe.